Doesn't it bother you that our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are divorced?
Is asking why it doesn't bother us that our mothers stayed in marriages, but the new women that are getting married now, they are running away, they are quick to divorce. Is giving women of nowadays don't want to suffer the way our mothers suffered in marriages. Women of nowadays, they are now so wise that they don't want to settle anymore. It's giving, it is only women that are getting divorced in marriages. It's giving, it is women that is a problem in marriages. And the way it sounds in my ear again is that it's saying that women are the only reason for divorce now. How does it sound in your ear when you heard him say nowadays, and it doesn't bother us that women? How does it sound in your ear? Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section. I have few reactions to share with you all. Women giving their 2 cents about this whole conversation. Let's go ahead and watch the stitches together, and I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the stitches.
Doesn't it bother you that our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are divorced?
Doesn't it bother me? Last time I checked, some of our mothers and mother figures that we grew up with are literally jealous of us. I mean this in a very good way. Trust me. They are jealous of our courage, our beauty, our standards, our freedom, our audacity, who we are and who we are yet to be, who we are transforming into. They are jealous of our wisdom, our confidence. For some, they are proud of us. They look at us like, this is who I wanted to be. This is the audacity I wanted to have. And the others still live in regrets because every day they are constantly reminded why they shouldn't have settled. That there's life beyond merely being a wife. Why they should have chased their dreams, bagged that degree, go on that vacation, taking that risk. Why they should have prioritized themselves. And sadly, a lot of them have died with these regrets, knowing they made no name for themselves other than being a wife. They already had replacements even before they died. Isn't it lovely? 2 people signed divorce papers, but you blame the woman for the divorce. And the gag is, you are not even asking the right questions. It's a higher percentage of women who file for divorce in marriages. Why is that? That is a good question. What is happening in the dynamics of marriage that have made women lose it completely? That's a good question. Laying more emphasis on this will make this video longer, but in my opinion, these are quite reasonable questions to ask. Yeah, I said what I said, and with that being said, wanna bye.
Doesn't it bother you that our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are divorced?
No, sir, we are not. We are not concerned. We are not bothered at all. I feel like our mothers owe us an apology because they didn't fight enough for us. We would not have to be dealing with abuse, manipulation, gaslighting, and things like this. The world would have been so much easier without all this confusion if men are honest, but they are not. Look at every man that comes to marry you. There is no single man that when they are asking you out will tell you, I'm looking for a wife who will come and submit to me, who will surrender their lives to my leadership. I'm looking for somebody who I will control, who I will dominate, who I will tell what to do, who will have to do domestic chores free for me and this. That's not what they come. They come with a proposition and they tell you, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Some will even tell you, I want to travel the world with you. I want to. What they tell you is different from what they expect of you. So a lot of marriages crash because you cannot tell somebody something, and then when you marry them, you begin to misbehave. Our mothers tolerated those things, and that was their fault. Even though I understand that a lot of them were married at a very young age, and they were naive, they were incapable of helping themselves. A lot of them did not have jobs, they did not have education. Or the only reason why I still give them grace is because they did not know better. They do not have access to freedom like we do now. We have access to freedom because we can work. They couldn't work. We can own lands. We can own farmlands. We can own bank accounts. We can own our own self. We can even own ourselves. Our mothers did not have that. So hence, they remained married. The only thing I blame our mothers for is the fact that they did not open themselves and their realities to their boy children. They did not talk to their sons. So they have their sons believing that marriage was blissful for them. While they were talking to these girls, calling them inside and telling them marriage is patience. When their girl child is getting married, they tell them marriage is patience, marriage is endurance, you have to be patient, you have to be this. They were not telling these men what they were telling the girl child. They were not telling their experiences in marriage to their sons like they were telling to their girl child. I believe if our mothers were very open and honest to their sons about how they feel about their husbands and the fathers of these sons, men will actually come on the internet and speak differently. I know that men are men, they may not still understand, but I feel like to an extent it will be a little bit better. Divorces are going to continuously increase.
Our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are divorced.
Our fathers are still married, but their sons are divorced. I said, let me give it back to you the way you gave it to us. Because the way some of you used to table these your arguments, they are always very skewed, biased, and imbalanced. It's always only the woman's fault. The men are sent here. They never do anything wrong. The sooner you guys come to accept that we are different from our mothers, the better for all of you and you people's mental health. Because a lot of daughters saw their mothers being miserable, unloved, unappreciated, being treated like they were not even human beings. A lot of daughters saw their mothers' marriages for exactly what it was, a bondage. And these daughters swore that that affliction would not arise for the second time. These daughters swore that that generational curse of women getting treated like shit and accepting it shall be broken. And I really feel bad for our mothers whenever I come by videos like these on the internet. It truly breaks my heart for our mothers whenever I think about the fact that our mothers bettered these men, loved them and cared for them, only for them to grow up and invalidate their lived experiences, their realities. And I'm really starting to believe that this is something that they do intentionally. Either they intentionally refuse to not see the pains and sufferings of our mothers, or they intentionally decided that they were never going to accept that our mothers went through the things that they went through. If the daughters could see all of the things that their mothers went through, there is no way the sons in that same home could not have seen it. Somebody have got to be lying. And it's just crazy to me how now they can sit on their various platforms and use the fact that our mothers endured and swallowed so much and took a lot of the things that they went through quietly and did not make so much noise about it, just so we can have as normal of a life and childhood as possible, as the facts, they are backing arguments as to why exactly and how exactly our mothers did not go through any of the things that they actually went through. Whether or not people want to accept or invalidate our mothers' experiences and realities is up to you people. Whatever makes you people happy, whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you sleep well at night. But the fact still remains, we are not our mothers. The quicker you people understand that, the better it's going to be for everybody. And I know some people are going to come into the comment section talking about, oh, she hates marriages. I fucking love marriages. Healthy ones. But of course, feel free to go off in the comment section spinning whatever it is that you have decided to believe about me and what I stand for, even though you fucking don't know me. Whatever makes you happy. The comment is open. Enjoy.
That our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are
Doesn't it bother you that most of our mothers are traumatized? Doesn't it bother you that most of our mothers had to go through a lot of emotional and physical pain just to stay married? Doesn't it bother you that your mother did not turn out fine? Don't you look at your mother and you feel pity for her because of all the pain that she had to go through and all the pain that she had to endure? Where is your empathy and where is your love for your mother? And speaking of bothering, does it not bother you that most of our men are divorced while our fathers are still in their marriage? Why do we have divorced men everywhere when our fathers are still in their marriage? Does it not bother you? Because I don't understand why two people will be divorced and then you attack the woman as if Now the woman ain't get problem. Let me tell you something. Any woman that wakes up in Nigeria and says she does not want to marry again, that woman, only God knows the kind of suffering that she has gone through. Because in our society in Nigeria, marriage is an achievement. And whoever is divorced is seen as someone who has failed in life. So any woman that does not care about societal judgment and what people will have to say and leave her marriage, only God knows wetin that woman don't see for that house. Why are you asking the men why they are divorced when their father? Why are you not asking the men why they are divorced when their fathers are still married? Sometimes wetin they pay me pass for this kind of thing, say na woman na dey born this thing. Na woman na dey born am. Women go just wake up, they born nonsense. They born rubbish. Your children will just come on like they spew nonsense. Raise your boys, so raise your boys. Raise your boys, not be only girl na dey train. Train your male child to have sense. Nonsense.
Our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are divorced.
It's two people that comes together to make a union of a marriage. So if one person is divorced, the other person is divorced as well. So now they make and look at saying that this, you have to refrain that sentence, Mr. Man, and say our fathers are still in their marriage, but the men are divorced. There's something you all are missing. The men are divorced, looking outside for I don't know what to define. We make a divorce anyhow. Because you're making it look as if it's just the duty of a woman to hold a marriage. No, it's two people that comes together. And this is what you all do in Africa. I don't know whether Africa or Nigeria here in this part of this world. All parents don't really fuck up. You have focused more time on training your girl child on becoming a good wife to her husband. But it's only for girls to train your boy child on becoming a good husband to his wife. Come like it's not just the duty of a wife to hold marriage. But no. And this is what you do now. You gonna feel like for a man to just become a good husband, you just have to have money to make him a good husband. Crazy. Man just have to have money, do one or two things to make him a good husband. No. Because this is what you all do. A rape, like for something to assaultation, like a boy doing bang, 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 I don't want to talk the word, me TikTok not go drop my video. For a boy to get forcefully, it has to become it has to be the boy and the girl. But yeah, you all do. Una the girl una go they blame. They say why you go dress half naked, why you go wear this kind of skirt, why you go wear this kind of this, why you go wear this kind of this. But now you forget say you're supposed to train your boys. See, for a girl to dress in a certain way doesn't mean she wants you to. For a girl to dress in a certain way doesn't mean she's looking for sex. For a girl to dress in a certain way doesn't mean she wants you to. You have to train these boys to keep that their dormants inside their bossa. Train them so well that they keep their dormants inside their bossa. But this is what you're fail on doing. You only want to train the girl child and forget the boy child, and you forget say for all these things to all these atrocities to happen and two people they come together, which is the boy and the girl. But now you all are blaming the girls and leaving the boys. You all just causing nuisance a lot. Focus more on training your boy child than your girl.
Our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are divorced.
Why should you waste a lifetime trying to correct something or trying to make somebody treat you nice when you can go out and look at other options? Our mothers were still in marriages because they had to take care of their children. They did it for their children. If they knew that they had something to run to with plenty options and plenty capital, they would have left our fathers a long time ago. And the current women of this generation don't give a fuck. They know that they only have one life left to live and they will live it to the fullest, doing what they want to do without having to put up with the stress of correcting somebody. I've said it before. If you know you can't put up with this person, divorce. It doesn't matter how many times you divorce. Keep divorcing till you find the right person. You're not a criminal. You're not Adolf Hitler. Don't know why these people make you feel this thing about divorce.
Doesn't it bother us that our mothers stayed in marriages, but we are running away from marriage? My question is, how many of our mothers that stayed in marriages were actually really happy in the marriage? If our mothers could take back the hands of time and they had the opportunity to actually walk away and never look back, in fact, walk away from even their children, their family, everything, and never look back, how many of them are going to take that option? How many of them are actually really happy, even till now, the ones that still stayed? How many of them are really, really happy in their marriages? Is it about staying in marriage or you being happy in that relationship? And I feel like because of the way our mothers suffered in their marriages, it has taught a lot of us now. We don't want to suffer like that. We don't want to settle like that. And I feel like when women stay in marriages, an unhappy marriage, abusive marriage, is because most of them are afraid to go. That was our mothers then. They're afraid of what will people say. In fact, even when they talk to their mom then, or they talk to people around them, they tell them we don't have anywhere to go. And even then, most of them stop work. They didn't even finish their school. They don't even have education, right? So they just decide to stay and just focus on being a mom and being a wife. And when they focus on all of that, you end up seeing that they've lost their life. They end up being with a very abusive man. See, African men can be very abusive, physically abuse you, cheat on you, treat you anyhow, especially when they know that they are the one feeding you 100. They're feeding your family, and you have children for them, and they know that you have nowhere to go. They will abuse you to the extent that you are stuck in that place. And most of our mothers then, they were staying in the marriage because of my children. You see them when they are not happy, they are crying, and you tell them, why did you eventually stay in this marriage? They'll say, because of my children. I don't want any woman to come and take care of my children. I want to be the one to take care of my children. And they didn't know that while they were being unhappy, while our mothers were being unhappy, the children that they had, probably their daughters, must have seen how unhappy they are, must have seen how their father was treating their mom. See, kids, they know when you're happy and when you're not happy, okay? And they can tell, no matter how young they are, they can see, they know when there's peace in the house, and they know when there's trouble and when there's war, okay? When your children start seeing things and start noticing your unhappiness, when you start having disagreements with their father, they already know that this is what is going on, and it affects them one way or the other. This whole conversation made me to remember what I read on Instagram earlier today. This lady says she has been married for 12 years and she's about 30 years old, and she's complaining about her husband is immature, is a mom's boy, the abuser and all of that. And she's not even happy in the relationship. She has 3 kids for him, and she wants to leave, but then she wants to stay because of her children. And she later went ahead to say one of her boys, she saw a prayer point where he wrote in the room or something, saying that one thing he prays for God is that the family to come together. So because of that, she doesn't want to go. She wants to make everything work out. And she's still asking that, what can she do? I feel like being in an abusive relationship, in a marriage that you are not happy, your children are seeing it, and the fact that you're saying you're staying there because of your children, you're actually killing them the more, because you're passing on the trauma to them. They are not going to be happy, and most of them sometimes divided. See, the trauma is divided. Is either they see it as is a normal way a relationship is supposed to be, or they see it as they don't want to ever be in a relationship at all. Okay, so when you still stay in that kind of relationship, some of your children start thinking that is how normal relationships supposed to be. That is why you see some people that they saw their mom being physically abused back to back every day. The father comes back home and beats the woman, and they see it as a normal. Maybe they see it as love. Maybe at the end of the day, he goes back to buy her things, buy her phone, buy her car, just to make her happy. They see it as a way of love. When those kind of women grow up, these girls grow up and they start having relationships, start being in a relationship, you see them that if they are not physically abused, they don't feel loved. If the marriage is all about peace, they feel like it's boring. See them telling you, oh, this relationship is boring. I want drama. I want him to beat me. He doesn't show me he loves me so much, because that is how they see it. And you see some children that come out of those homes, they don't want to have anything to do with men. They don't want to most of them don't even want to get married at all, because of the trauma that their mother have put them through. So I feel like when nowadays, if a woman is still making that excuse and saying, I am staying inside this marriage because of my children, I feel like they are being selfish, and they are doing it because of themselves, but they are hiding under the shade of my children. Because if you think about your children's future, you think about your own happiness, you prioritize it and leave that abusive relationship, because there's no amount of there's no amount of abuse. Your children, they are seeing it and they are being traumatized, and I feel like you're passing that trauma to them, and they'll keep passing it on and on. But when you let them know that this is not how it's supposed to be, this is not how a relationship is supposed to be, you walk away and you stand your ground and you're happy. See, one thing about you being a good mom is you being happy first of all. If you're not happy at all, you cannot raise children. You cannot raise happy children. If they're seeing you every day, you're sad, you're crying, you're depressed, it affects them, and even themselves, they might not want to always talk to you because they know that you're not happy. And the little days that you're very jovial and happy, they just run to you and try to get use of, just make opportunity of that little happiness you have. But most of the time, you're not happy, you're depressed. It affects your children. Anyways, what is your take on this? Our mothers were staying and suffering in marriage, but we ladies now don't want to suffer. What is your take on this? Because nowadays women are waking up, women are seeing the light, and they're like, we're not going to settle. If you're promising us this and you're not doing this, we are leaving. If you want me to suffer, I am not going to stay. If you're not going to take care of me, I'm going to leave. If you want to continue abusing me, I'm out. If you keep on cheating or you cheat on me, I am going. So that's, women are waking up, and it's really making these men to be worried. Instead of them to think about what they can do to make things better, they are bothered that why are women not staying and suffering the way their mothers were suffering in marriages. What is your take on this conversation? Kindly put your thoughts and your comments in the comment section respectfully. All right, it's your favorite girl again, and thank you all so much for tuning in today. It's your girl Maria Davis, and don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and kindly turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified once I upload another interesting video like this one. And of course, you all, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.